Year-old student Annette Wagers is suing her former friend, 22-year-old construction worker Justin Lawson, for assaulting her after she turned down his sexual advances. Justin denies the charge and claims Annette suffered a seizure.
Yeah, this is case number 481 on the calendar in the matter of Wagers versus Lawson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Wagers, it is your claim that Mr. Lawson, who used to be a friend of yours, assaulted you when you were out camping with him and with some of his friends. Mr. Lawson says that you absolutely were not assaulted. What happened is you got into sort of a scuffle and you fell and had a seizure. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
How do you know him?
I met him through a friend of my cousin's.
Were you dating him?
No.
But you decided to go camping with a group.
Right.
And where were you going camping?
Carlsbad State Beach.
You have to keep your voice up. I'm old.
I'm sorry, it's the Carlsbad State Beach.
How many people were going?
Well, Justin and I, we went together.
This is Justin?
That's correct.
Okay.
It was approximately 2 families, maybe 5 people each family, maybe like 12, 13 people.
Okay, now tell me about this episode that you had.
We had a great day. We hung out at the beach with his friend Kenny and their family and his younger brother. He had started drinking over the day, which I didn't really see as a problem.
You mean Justin?
Correct. We eventually decided that the sleeping arrangements would be we would sleep in the bed of his truck with an air mattress because everything else was taken. The tents were taken, the RV was taken.
So who was going to sleep in the truck on an air mattress?
Justin and I.
Okay.
What happened was he started to get like fresh on me and trying to hook up.
At the truck?
Yeah, when we were in bed after everybody else had gone to bed too. I told him I don't want to hook up with you. I expressed so. I, wasn't initiating the same type of relations back. And it was an uncomfortable situation. I wasn't interested in doing it. It was cold. The air mist from the ocean was getting us wet. The air mattress was going flat. I mean, it was just a bunch of things. I wasn't interested. And
not romantic.
Yeah, it wasn't romantic. And there were a bunch of people in tents around next to the truck. So it wasn't.
So even if you had been so inspired, it wasn't an ideal situation.
Right.
Well, men don't get that.
Sometimes.
They could have mist on their face. They could have soot on their face. It could be raining rodents. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah. Very often they don't need that kind of inspiration. So what happened next, Miss Wagers?
Well, after telling him no, he just became really annoyed with me, and he was calling me baby, he was calling me the B word, and all these other things. So I told him, I'm going to leave if this is how you're going to treat me. So I got out of the truck and went to the exit of the campsite of our lot and then went to the right. Unfortunately, that's a dead end. It's not an exit to leave the park.
What time is this?
Maybe 9:45, 9:30.
How did you plan on getting home?
My mom lives less than a mile away on Coast Highway, so I was going to walk.
So you're going to walk home?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So I started to walk down there, and he followed me down. He started in on me, started talking to me. You can't leave. You can't do this. So he started grabbing my arms, and he was really adamant about making his point to me. And he grabbed my biceps right here, and then was shaking me, and he was screaming at me, literally screaming in my face. We heard a noise from about 200 feet off, like adjacent behind us, and we looked over and I saw his friend Kenny and then Kenny's cousin. And I mean, it's unmistakable because Kenny's 6'7", so I mean, there are not too many people that tall. So I was like, that's Kenny, he can see you, you better stop, he's watching you. So he stops, he starts to calm down, and he's telling me, please don't be mad at me, just please. He was like begging me, literally like crying and doing these motions. And so I was, okay, well if you can settle down, then I'll go back there. So I go back, and he had even tried to hold my hand on the walk back, but I was just like, no, I'm not going to hold your hand after you've just been doing that and shaking and stuff. And he got mad about it and stayed behind. And so I went back to the campsite by myself. When I arrived there, I saw Kenny and his cousin sitting there, and he looked really somber, and he's sitting there and he's asking me, are you okay?
Is this Kenny?
That's Kenny, yes.
You remember that happening?
I don't remember me saying if she was okay or anything. I just remember the incident.
Good. All right, let's get to it. So you're back at the campsite now.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there with Kenny. He's asking me if I'm okay and whatnot. Justin comes up and he says, get over here. And I turned to him and I said, listen, I've already explained to you, if you're going to talk to me that way, I'm not going to talk to you. So he comes, asks nicely, please, I just want to talk to you. Starts bothering me with that begging again. So I go talk to him again. And I decide, okay, we can go to sleep now. This is enough of this. Let's just let it go. So we go into the bed, and he starts to do it again. He was like, you know, getting close to me and trying to kiss me and stuff, and I was like, you know what, finally, I'm going to leave. I listed off the reasons why.
Okay, you should have done that the first time. So, you got out of the truck. What happened when you got out of the truck?
This time I went the right way down to the exit, and he comes running up behind me, telling me, don't leave, don't leave. And he grabs my arms again. So that time, I was really fed up with the situation. My hands were like this, and I pushed him, like, forward. I was like, get off of me. And I started walking away, and he really couldn't handle the fact that I was walking away.
Well, you called him a name also.
Well, I called him a moron in the end.
Okay, so you called him a moron. And after you called him a moron, what happened?
Well, what happened is he called me a firsthand, and then I said, I can't be I'm not sleeping with you, you're a moron.
Okay.
And then so he got mad at me calling him a moron, and he said, oh, I'll show you what a moron is. And he drew back, and then he socked me in the face, and after that, I don't remember anything at that point until I was in the ambulance.
You have medical report?
Certainly.
Can I see them, please?
Sure.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Bet Wager says former friend Justin Lawson punched her in the head after she rebuffed his sexual advances.
Okay. Were you smoking marijuana that night?
No, but I have done it in the past.
What about him?
Yes.
Didn't have just a little?
I wasn't with him while he was doing it.
We smoked on the way up there. Smoked a doobie, a joint.
And after that, sir? Did you smoke any more?
No.
Okay, Justin.
Well, at the time she was staying with me for a couple weeks, and we got invited to go up to Carlsbad State Beach with his family. I decided to ask her if she wanted to go along. She said yes, that would be cool. On the way up there, everything was fine. We got up there and stopped at the campsite, had some dinner, and everything was going okay. Yes, I was cuddly with her at the time. We were intimate. And
you were intimate?
Yes, at the time before.
Just a second. For the first time?
No, this is for 2 weeks prior that we hooked up, and that's when she was living with me. We went to the bar that night.
Is that right?
I had known him for a week, and I wasn't living with him. I was staying with my girlfriend who he knew.
The question is, had you been intimate with him before the night of the 15th of July?
A week prior, yes.
You had been? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you got into the bed of the truck, you anticipated that this was going to be a recurring theme?
Not necessarily. Yes, I can say I have been drinking that night. I got in and just pretty much put my arm around her and cuddled like I would do any other time. Yeah, I might have touched her stomach or rubbed her leg and gave her the wrong impression. Yes, she got out of the car and she walked away. I chased her down because at the time I had feelings for her. I liked her. So I followed her, asked her what was going on, and she said she wasn't happy and that she wanted to leave. We went for the walk, talked about it and everything was fine. All the way back, she was being kind of loud, and she wanted to go into the campsite and get one of her bags or something. I told her that we couldn't go in the campsite until she got a little bit quiet because his parents were sleeping at the time. And she didn't like that fact at all. You know, she wanted her bag out of my truck right then and there. She wasn't going to stay with me that night. She wanted to go home.
So she wanted to go back to the campsite to get her bag to leave?
Yes, out of my truck at the time. And okay. At the time, I couldn't let her in just because of my parents were sleeping and she was being loud. She was being belligerent. At the time of that, Kenny walked up with his cousin, asked us what was going on. She said nothing was going on and went in and got her bag or whatever. Well, she started walking off, and I called her name for walking off.
Called her a name?
Yes, I called her a B for walking off, you know.
You mean for leaving?
For leaving, yes. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was happening. All night long, everything was great. Through dinner, everything was great. And then,
well, this was the second time, Justin, that she was trying to leave.
Yeah, she tried to walk away, and I stopped her before, yes.
So why didn't you just let her leave?
Well, the second time when she turned around, you know, I said, you know, I don't know why you're being a B. You know, I don't see why we can't just talk and see what's going on. Because I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, she just turned on me. I mean, it was all night long she was cool, and then all of a sudden she turned on me, and it was totally a different face. So finally I told her, I said, well, yeah, why don't you go home? And so she started walking or whatever. Well, I said something underneath my breath, and she heard me, and she didn't like what I said. To this day, I cannot remember exactly what I said. I might have called her an H or something, but I don't know for sure. She turned around, came over, and started pushing on me. She lunged the last time. I stepped out of the way. She fell down. She was laying on her face. I waited for her to get up or whatever, and she didn't move at all, so I rolled her over, and she was having a seizure. At the time, he ran in and got his dad. His dad's a diabetic, has seizures and stuff, so he's like, she's having a seizure right now. Don't touch her.
Who said that?
His father.
I don't care what you say his father said. That's hearsay. If his father wanted to support your position, he could have been here.
He's at work, so...
That's your story. Your story is she fell over and she was having a seizure.
Yes.
She never had a seizure before in her life.
Well, the paramedics, when they came to pick her up, she got up and walked to the ambulance herself. You know, she was...
Did you tell the paramedics she had a seizure?
No,
are you the friend,
when the
are you the friend that told the paramedics that she had a seizure, Justin?
I told the ranger that I thought she was having a seizure.
You told the ranger that you thought she was having a seizure?
Yeah.
How from a seizure did she have a swollen problem with her temporomandibular joint?
Because she fell face first on the ground.
You fall face first. You fall over here. You don't fall on your side.
Well, when I rolled her over, she was laying with her face like this, like with her arms out.
Justin, I don't buy that, honey.
Well, I'm sorry.
Justin, I don't buy that, my dear.
If
you know why? Because it doesn't make sense. Because if you're having a seizure and you fall, and even if you fall on your side, you fall on this side of your head, you don't. It's very hard to fall on this indentation unless you happen to be unlucky enough to fall on a rock that's sticking out on this part of your face. So you could fall over here, you could fall over here, fall on the front of your face, but to fall and get this part of your face, that's quite a trick. You ought to be in Cirque du Soleil. That's why I don't buy what you're saying to me, Justin.
Okay.
Don't buy it, my dear. And the fact that you went to the hospital afterwards with her and waited for her to wake up and told the doctor before she woke up that she had had a seizure. That's what, you're the friend. You did go to the hospital with her, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Were you nervous?
At the hospital?
Yeah.
I was crying the whole time. I didn't know what
don't
happened
blame you
to
for
her.
crying. I don't think that you meant anything to happen bad to her that night. I think you had a little too much to drink and a little too much to smoke. And she wanted to leave and she wanted to go home and you didn't want her to go home. And you left out the fact that, according to your answer, you said, I grabbed her bag to throw it back in my truck, but she kept pushing me trying to get her bag back. How come you forgot that? How come you forgot to tell me that you weren't letting her leave, that you took her bag and you were throwing it in your truck because you were trying to prevent her from leaving?
Well, I just told her that I was going to grab her bag, and I grabbed it as I was saying, I'll take you home in the morning. And at that time, it was no problem until...
Well, how come you didn't tell me that, Justin?
I don't know. I'm sorry I left it out.
It's a good story, Justin. It doesn't wash with me. I think you got angry with her. I think when she called you a moron, you hauled off and socked her, and I think she fell down, she hit her head, and you got a little bit nervous.
Well, I didn't sock her.
Well, that's what I think you did. And since my judgment is the only one that counts, and since her story is supported by what I'm reading in the medical reports, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,900. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you. We've known each other for a week, so it wasn't a long-term relationship or anything to get really serious about.
You can't say boyfriend and girl if I can say sexual partners.
Well, if she tried to leave a situation, she should have the right to leave the situation.
Any guy that cares about a girl is not going to let him leave.
No means no.
Student Barbara Evans Cunningham is suing her ex-husband, store manager Bruce Evans, for his share of a Honda Accord purchased for their son. Bruce claims he never promised to pay for the vehicle.
All rise. Yeah, this is case number 292 on the calendar, the matter of Evans Cunningham versus Evans. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Cunningham, Mr. Evans was your husband.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you have one child?
Yes, ma'am.
A boy who is in high school now.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your claim that a couple of years ago, the two of you agreed that if your son got straight A's or good grades, that when he was a senior in high school, the two of you would chip in to buy a car.
Yes, ma'am.
You purchased a car for your son, and the defendant did not contribute half the money for the car.
That is correct, ma'am.
Unfortunately, the car that you purchased for your son blew an engine within a relatively short period of time, and you were forced to go out and buy another car for him.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not asking Mr. Evans to pay for that second car, but you want him to pay his half of the first car, which no longer exists. Is that right? That's what you're suing for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Evans says that you didn't consult him about the car, and he's not paying.
That's correct.
Okay. So, how long have you been divorced?
We've been divorced, ma'am, almost 10 to 11 years. I've known Mr. Evans since I was 16 years old.
Okay. Now, when did you purchase this car for your son? The first one?
The first car, ma'am, was 19 July of this year from my neighbor.
What kind of car was it?
It was a 1990 Honda Accord, ma'am, four-door sedan.
And how much did you pay for the car?
The car cost $1,770.
When did you discuss this purchase with your husband?
Beginning the month of May 2004.
What did you say to him, and what did he say to you?
He stated, that's good. Does the body look good on the car? Does the car run well? And I stated, yes, that my neighbor showed me where he maintained the maintenance on the car periodically. he stated that that's fine, go ahead with the purchase.
Is that right?
No.
Well, tell me what happened when she called you.
She called me and told me that her neighbor was selling a car for $1,500. She said that he was moving or something and that she could get the car. I told her, well, what kind of car is it? Because I haven't seen the car. Can I come check the car out or look at the car? She said that she know her neighbor pretty well because he lives right next door, and that he takes good care of his cars, and that she figured that it was good because she know him and she didn't think that he would sell her anything that wasn't
in good shape.
Right.
And what did you say to her?
I told her that, okay, then let me look at the car. You know.
Well,
so,
you should listen to me, Mr. Evans. Let's not dance around with each other, sir.
Okay.
If things make sense, they make sense. It makes sense that she told you about this car and you said, well, I'd like to take a look at it.
Correct.
That makes sense. And she said, well, I don't think, according to you, I don't think you have to take a look at it. This is my neighbor. I know him very well. I know that he's taken good care of the car. I've seen the records on the car. And then you have to say something else. Either you say to her, well, I still want to take a look at it and I'll call and make an appointment, or you say to her, fine. Now, which is it?
I told her I still wanted to look at the car. I told her, I asked her when was the guy moving and when was the last day that she was going to actually get the car. She didn't actually purchase the car from the guy until the day before he left.
So why didn't you go over there and take a look at it?
He did, ma'am.
Shh.
No,
Just a second. He did?
Yes, ma'am.
When did he go over there, Miss Cunningham?
Ma'am, he did a drive-by of the car in June.
When you say a drive-by?
The car is parked in front of the neighbor's yard, and I shared with him, it was on a Sunday evening, he was picking up our son. I stated that the car is parked in the front yard of my neighbor. When you pick Kelvin up, you can pass by and see the car. He acknowledged that the car was showroom clean, based on the outside of the body.
I never met the neighbor, so I don't...
Just a second. You don't have to meet the neighbor, Mr. Evans.
Well, I'm saying as far as going to his yard and stuff.
Mr. Evans,
Yes,
did
ma'am.
you ask for the neighbor's name?
No, because...
Just a second. Is there any reason why you didn't ask for the neighbor's name?
Because I asked her to set it up so we could go by and look at it together.
What's wrong with you? She's already looked at the car. If you want to look at the car, Mr. Evans, you have to be proactive.
Asking her to set it up with a neighbor that she already knows is proactive. I just can't go to this man's house and just
No,
say...
it isn't. Listen to me. Baloney. Listen, Mr. Evans. Baloney. I'm sympathetic with you to this. When I read your answer to this extent, you said, well, she bought this car, she didn't ask for my input, and if she bought the car without asking for my input, I'm not paying for half. That's what you said in your answer, right?
That is correct.
And I'm telling you that I was sympathetic with that answer, because I think that it's wrong for someone, if in fact it's true, for Miss Cunningham to say, listen, we agreed 2 years ago we were going to buy my son a car. I saw my neighbor's car, I liked the car. I went and bought the car, and then I presented my ex-husband with half the bill. And my ex-husband said to me, I'm not paying for half the bill on this car that you picked out yourself because I didn't have any input. That's what you're saying, and I was sympathetic. But that's not what happened, Mr. Evans. No.
Judge, I never saw the car.
That's your fault. That's your fault. You have two eyes, you have a mouth, you have a finger that can do the walking through the yellow pages and the white pages. I am speaking. I am speaking, sir. Now, certain things make sense, and I've been in this business a long time. What kind of work do you do, sir?
Manage a payday loan store.
And if somebody doesn't give you the money, what do you do?
We try calling them and getting them to come in and
Now, when you try calling them, let's say, put your papers down. Let's say you have their address.
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't have a telephone number.
Yes, ma'am.
What do?
Mail them a letter.
Did you ever think of calling information to get a telephone number? Have you ever done that, Mr. Evans? You know exactly where I'm going, sir. You get information, you try to get it from information. You take out a phone book, you turn to the white pages and see in the white pages whether there's an address that corresponds with that. Or you can do both and mail them a letter.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm saying to you, Mr. Evans, you are a smart man. You're a businessman. If you wanted to take a look at this car, inside and out, All you had to do was be a little proactive.
She never gave me the person's name.
No, she doesn't have to give you. Listen to me. You ask. You did not ask.
Judge, I asked Barbara to let me come by and look at the car.
He had a key.
Shh. Don't ask Barbara. Barbara has taken care of your son for the last 11 years.
Barbara and I have taken care of our son for the last 11 years.
No. Let's get it straight.
Barbara and I have taken care of our son.
1, 2. You know what?
Barbara
you know
has
what that
not
means?
taken care of our son by herself. I have always been there for my child, and I don't want her to be in court saying
I'm
that.
speaking. Don't speak over me. Ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Who has primary physical custody of your son?
Kelvin is with Barbara because Kelvin...
Don't tell me because. Who has primary...
I do.
You do. Let me see the papers that give you primary physical custody.
I don't have them with me.
Okay.
When
Now,
we got a divorce, Judge...
Barbara, turn around.
When we got a divorce years ago, I had primary custody of our son. I had him for the 9 months he was in school. She had him for the summer months. That's in the divorce decree. Okay, after Kelvin stayed with me for the first 4 years, then with Barbara kept calling and complaining and crying to him, saying how much this and how much that, he asked me and said, Daddy, can I go stay with my mom, son? I said, okay, son, I don't have a problem with that. If that's what you want to do, I'll let you do that. I moved so I can be close to him. Barbara got transferred again to Colorado. I moved out to Colorado so I can still be close to my son. She got transferred to St. Louis. I moved to St. Louis so I can still be close to my one and only son, so I could be there for him to help raise him. So with her coming up in here saying that I have not helped and I have not been there for my son, that is downright ridiculous.
So then I'm asking you, sir, if you did all this moving from one city to another city to another city, with all that entails for moving, so for the last 6 years, he's been living with his mother. You've moved. So for the last 6 years, full-time, she's been the full-time custodial parent, and you've moved so that you could accommodate her work. Whatever that was, you've moved because you thought it was in your child's best interest. You moved, you've changed, you've gotten an apartment, you've got turned on gas, electric, telephone, you've moved, you've transferred registrations on cars, and you're telling me that you couldn't find out the name of the neighbor who lives next door so you could go and look at the car? Mr. Evans, I don't buy it.
Judge,
now,
if she had allowed me the opportunity to do that before she moved ahead, then that's what would have happened. But she did not allow me the opportunity.
Oh, stop
that's
it.
just like after the car.
Stop crying.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, Barbara Evans Cunningham says ex-husband Bruce Evans owes for his share of a Honda Accord purchased for their son. Bruce says Barbara didn't consult him first.
Now, I find first that you did in fact agree to pay for half the car. That she in good faith called you and said to you before she purchased the car, I have the ability to purchase this car that I think is a good deal. You said to her, is it a good car? I'd like to come and take a look at it. You're leaving it up to her. And she's a working gal too, I gather, because you say that you moved to accommodate her career, which means that she probably earns more than you do. So that she's a busy girl. So instead of you making the appointment with the neighbor, because I'm sure this is a perfectly nice person that she purchased the car from, and you're not a bad man. I mean, you're not an ex-convict, are you?
No.
Good. So the neighbor wouldn't suggest, I don't want him near me or near my house or near my children or near my family. You're just a nice man. You're a nice man who's got a child who needs a car, a teenager. And you say, listen, I want to come and take the car out because I understand that my ex-wife wants to buy it. That's a very simple thing. Very simple. You chose not to do that. You chose to say, you make the arrangements. And when she didn't make the arrangements, she said to you, give me the $850. You said no. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $850. That's it.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Bruce has been very downright evil to me. He has always manipulated the system. He has never held a full-time job in his whole life.
My ex-wife is just disgruntled. That's all it is.
I have no reason to be disgruntled and upset because I have a very wonderful life. And my life got better after I got rid of him.
For her to get in court and say that I'm not there to take care of my son or not help with my son, it's just downright ridiculous.
I'm going to applaud and scream with hallelujah when you're out of all of your money. You're nothing but a freeloader.
So Barbara just got some evil ways about her, I guess, and that's all it is.
Don't have babies for men that don't take care of their responsibilities.
Nursing student Angela Nemechek is suing her biological daughter. 17-year-old Jessica Simons and Jessica's adoptive sister, Kathy Brooks, for the money she spent when Jessica came to live with her. Jessica and Kathy are countersuing, claiming Angela stole Jessica's Social Security checks.
All rise. This is case number 449 on the calendar in the matter of Nemechek versus Brooks Simons. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Looks like a lot of witnesses here for a relatively simple case. Miss Nemechek?
Yes.
I assume that this is Jessica?
Yes.
According to your complaint, you are Jessica's birth mother.
Yes.
And Jessica was adopted by a family when she was 4 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are her sister.
Yes.
Adoptive sister?
Yes.
And both of her adoptive parents passed away, unfortunately, from illness. For a period of time, she was staying with you.
Yes.
And then, Ms. Nemechek, Jessica decided that she wanted to come and live with you.
Yes.
And she did for a short period of time.
Yes, Your Honor.
3 months, 4 months?
2.5 months.
That was
And during-
3.5 months.
3.5 months. And during that time, you purchased some clothing for her and had other expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then there was falling out.
Yes,
And
Your
she
Honor.
went back to her sister's home.
Correct.
She and her sister came and got all this stuff that you had purchased for Jessica.
Yes.
And you want to be compensated for that.
Yes.
You're Miss Brooks?
Yes.
You have a counterclaim on behalf of your sister because you have guardianship of her now.
Correct.
And that is for reimbursement from the Social Security checks
Correct.
that was sent to Miss Nemechek. And you want that money back because you say that was hers to spend.
Correct.
Miss Nemechek, how old was Jessica when she was adopted?
4.
And did you have contact with her from age 4 to age 17?
Yes, I did.
When?
Periodically. I've had phone calls with them. I've went and seen them. Me and their godmother, the one that adopted them, was really good friends. That's the reason why I let her adopt them, was because of my sickness that I do have, and currently still have.
Is that a physiological or a mental illness?
Physiological and mental.
Did you support your daughter over the years with money?
When I seen them at times, I did when I could financially afford it.
I'm talking about regular support.
No.
When your daughter came to live with you, I assume that either you weren't getting along with your sister, is that right?
Well, I just wanted to go live with my mom. I just wanted to get to know her. I wanted to have a mother-daughter relationship with her.
Do you approve of that?
At first, no, because of all the problems that we have had with Angela.
What kind of problems?
She would call their schools when my parents were alive, trying to get them out of school. Jessica and I are, we do fight a lot, and I think we do because you don't go from being a sister to trying to be a mother. And, you know, when someone is, 14 years old, our relationship changed because...
Were you married when your parents died?
Yes.
You have children?
I have 3 children.
And you took your sister to live with you?
I took both of my sisters to live with me.
And this was the older sister?
Yes.
Is that right? Did she take good care of you?
Yes. I love her. She's my sister. I'm not gonna do this. When Jessica came to me and told me she wanted to know Angie, sorry.
Would it be better if I asked you questions?
No, I need to say this because it's important. I don't know what it's like not knowing your parents. So who was I to tell Jessica that she couldn't get to know her biological mother? Unfortunately, Angela, in the whole time since my parents have had Venus and Jessica and their older brother David, my parents adopted 3 of her children so they could stay together. She never could step up to the plate and act like an adult and knock on my door and say, hey, Kath, I'm sorry your parents died. I really want to help. I really would like to get to know my daughter.
She would sneak around and see us, basically.
So it was very hard for me to let Jessica go, but I spoke with Jessica all the time. She gets a death benefit from my parents. That's what she has left of my parents.
And what did you do with your death benefit, Jessica?
I signed the money order over to my mother so she can put it in her bank. And she said she would save the money for me so I can buy a car.
Did you do that, Ms. Nemechek?
I did put that money in the bank. I put it in my savings account, and Jessica kept asking me for money, and I kept taking it out of my savings account and giving it to her. I do have proof of that.
Well, how much in the 3 months that she was there? You got 3 checks?
I got 2.
How much were they for?
$931 each.
One was $931, one was $731, and that was it.
How much did she get?
$931 each a month, and it was a total of $2,700 and some odd dollars that was giving to her from her death benefit.
Well, let's say, for argument's sake, it was about $2,000. When your daughter decided to go back, how much of the money that she turned over to you did you return to her or put in a savings account in her name?
She had none. She had taken that all out with withdrawals.
How could I...
Just a second.
Okay.
Let us assume that that's true. Who are you suing and for what?
The money that the 2 checks that she received, that Kathy had gave her, we gave her more money besides that.
You're her mother. Who's supposed to take care of
I signed my rights over. I signed my rights over.
Then Ms. Nemechek...
She's getting a check, Ms. Kathy Brooks.
I'm speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Adoptive sister Kathy Brooks for money she spent on Jessica's behalf. Angela says Jessica lived with her for 3 months when her adoptive parents died.
If you don't want to be her mother, then you say, I'm sorry you can't come to live with me. But when you buy her clothes, things that you should have been buying for her for 17 years, and she decides, I am speaking, and you give it to her, that is a gift. You don't get that back. You get to say, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I know I wasn't much of a parent to you when you were growing up. I know that you had lovely parents. Fortunately, I wasn't there for you. This little bit is my small bit, aside from the fact that you got a couple of $1,000s that you spent, because $100 here and $100 there over 3 months don't come out to $2,000.
I have all my proof.
I don't care what you have. What you don't have, clearly, is a conscience. You're supposed to do the right thing.
You have no idea what I went through in the past 17 years with
That's
these
not,
people.
listen to me. Whatever happened to you over 17 years, you visited on yourself, and you also visited on your children. Because whatever problems you had, you decided to have children. Mm-hmm. They didn't make that choice. You made that choice.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
quite frankly, nobody is interested in what you went through over 17 years. That's your problem. You visited your problems on innocence. And when you do that, you don't get sympathy. And when you do that...
The reason why I gave up my kids is because I have leukemia. I was told I had 2 years to live.
Listen to me very carefully. If God blessed you and said, while you had 2 years to live, here you are, 15 years later, still alive and kicking, then what you do if your daughter comes back to you and you've given her a couple of $1,000s in clothes that you didn't take care of over her entire growing up years, and you decided to do it,
Your Honor,
and if it didn't work out,
her clothes in between those 17 years.
Ms. Nemechek, quite frankly, I find your behavior bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. If you suffer from an illness, and if you're giving me that as an excuse for giving up your children, despite the fact that years later you're still here, and if you had the unique opportunity of getting to know your children again, then you don't terminate that by suing them. That's stupid
I'm
and
not suing
amoral.
my daughter. I'm suing the person that supposedly gave her money that she never gave her.
That has nothing to do with you. It's not your money. It's not your money. It's Byrd's money. It's the citizens' money. It's not your money. Now, but for the fact, Miss Brooks, just a second. Don't
have
move.
them walk up here?
No, I don't need them. I said there are an awful lot of witnesses here for a relatively simplistic case. There's nothing that I don't understand that I have to have
Well, there's
made
a lot
clear.
more to this case, Your Honor. It's not just about the money.
Well, if it's not just about the money, you're in the wrong place. Go to a psychiatrist. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here about the money. That's what courts are for. Other than that, you can go find Dr. Phil someplace. He'll be more than happy to hear you. Now, shh, Ms. Brooks, but for the fact that Ms. Nemechek brought this action against you, would you have counterclaimed for the money that Jessica gave her?
Yes, we actually already hired an attorney to help us write up the complaint against Miss Nemechek. I also have a letter from our bank stating that Jessica's death benefit did come out of her account.
Well, let me see the letter from the bank. How long do you receive the death benefits for, Jessica?
Till I'm 18 and out of school, high school.
Well, this letter indicates, Ms. Nemechek, that there were 3 checks, all in the amount of $931.
Well, all I have here is a deposit on August 9th for $731.
That doesn't mean that you didn't get $931.
And then I
that
have
means that
a deposit here
I'm speaking.
on September.
I'm speaking. Death benefits don't change by $200. So that means that you may have deposited $731 and taken $200 in cash.
I don't recall that, Your Honor.
Well, you don't recall. That's why I have this from the bank. So 931 times 3 is $2,793. What'd you do with it?
Right here.
Oh, let me see it. Perfect. What's Sprint?
That's a cell phone bill.
$122?
Yes.
Get it. I don't know what this is. This is nothing. White Fox Den, $28. What's that for?
That's food.
Food?
Food.
Oh my God.
Walgreens. Sunglasses. 3 pairs of sunglasses. Shampoo. What's that for?
It's for Jessica.
Ms. Nemechek, I think you're a bad lady. And I believe your daughter when she said you were going to take these checks and put them in an account for her, and the purpose of that account was that when she got to be old enough, she was going to be able to buy a car for herself. I believe you told her that, and I believe that you then went through your trash can and picked out receipts that you decided for your home, for you and your husband and whoever else lives there, that the government was going to be responsible for. If you supported your daughter yourself for 3 months and you've given her no other support her whole life, you ought to thank God that somebody took care of her for the 14 years that you didn't. Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim in the amount of $2,793. Your claim is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I wouldn't let her have custody over me, and that's just a way of revenge for her, I guess. Suing her own daughter.
I have one daughter here. She's the one I'll help, because I know she never screws me like the other one did.
She was just doing everything behind everybody's back.
My son Scott, she came to his school and asked him to go and do drugs with her.
I'll see her in the next court on that one.
She does need professional help. Definitely, she does.
Maybe later on in life, if I'm not dead, then she can come around. But then again, my husband don't want her ever around.
I think it's ridiculous. I have nothing to do with her anymore.
Former service rep Cindy Blankenship is suing her ex-boyfriend, contractor Robert DiFrancesco, for rent and for trying to strangle her. Cindy claims the assault took place at the end of their month-long drug binge.
This is case number 374 on the calendar in the matter of Blankenship versus DiFrancesco. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Blankenship, according to what I read, you and the defendant met at a bar, and he came home with you the same evening and stayed for a while. And according to your complaint, you had an agreement with him that he was going to pay you rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he stayed with you, 3-4 weeks. He didn't pay any rent. And then you got into some sort of an altercation with him and claimed that he assaulted you.
Yes.
Mr. DiFrancesco says there was never an agreement to pay you rent, that he spent 5 months in jail because you made false charges of assault against him. He was ultimately released, and you want a certain amount of money for rent and $1,500 for this alleged assault.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. On what day did you meet Mr. DiFrancesco?
It was the beginning of May.
In the evening?
Yes.
And you met him for the first time?
Yes, I did.
And he came home with you?
Yeah, we ended up going to my house. We're going to have a drink at my house. 3 days later, he's still at my home.
Okay, 3 days later, did you say? Well, 3 days later, I assume you let him stay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, tell me about this agreement that you allege about rent.
Well, as I said, 3 days later, he's still at my house. He informed me that he didn't have any place to go. He had just gotten out of jail, which I wish I had known that, or else if I had, I wouldn't have let him come to my home. Told me he had nowhere to go, and we had both decided, let's try a fast, instant relationship, see what happens. Told him he wasn't going to live with me for nothing. He said he was a hard worker. He had no problem paying me $125 a week. The 30 days that he was with me, he worked maybe 2 days. All of his money went on cocaine. So that's what basically he felt that he was going to be doing at my house. And towards the end of it, I said I had enough.
Now, towards the end of it, I had enough is what I want to hear about, the night of this alleged assault. I'd like you to tell me in your own words what happened, Miss Blankenship.
We had been drinking at my house that day.
You do a lot of drinking?
Yeah, we had been out.
And he does a lot of drinking?
Yeah.
Do you also do drugs, or you just drink?
I didn't get back into drugs until I hooked up with Bobby.
So then the answer is for the 30 days that you were together in your house, you were both drinking and doing drugs?
Yes.
And I assume he was purchasing the drugs?
No, I was. He didn't have any money.
Okay, so you were purchasing the drugs and giving it to him?
Basically, we were doing them together.
No. If you bought them and gave them to him. Is that what you're telling me? Oh. So tell me about the last night that you were together, the night of this alleged assault.
We had been out at one of the local bars drinking. We got I believe it was a 12-pack, went back to my house. When that was all done, we went back out drinking. I suggested that we get something to eat. I was going to get Chinese food. He said, fine, went home. I was getting the food ready, putting it on plates and everything. I turned around. Bobby's leaning up against the counter with his pants down to the floor, offering me something other to eat than the Chinese food.
And?
I was quite appalled by this whole thought at the moment. I went into the living room. I sat down. I figured I'd try and calm down for a few minutes. I went into the kitchen. He's now eating the Chinese food.
By this time, he's dressed himself?
Yeah.
And he's eating the Chinese food?
Yes.
And what happened?
I asked him if he wanted some rice with the food, and I threw a box of beef fried rice at him.
So you assaulted him with the rice?
No, I threw the rice at the floor.
No, your hand motion was?
Well, I threw the rice, but it wasn't at him physically, it was at the floor.
Well, that's not what you say in your complaint, by the way. You say that you started to throw the Chinese food at him.
In his direction.
In his direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what happened after you were throwing the Chinese food in his direction?
Well, I ended up asking him if he needed some sweet sauce with it. After that, we ended up getting into an argument. It boiled down to I was sitting at a chair at the kitchen table trying to figure out what we were going to do with this relationship. We got into an argument. He lunged over the kitchen table, grabbed me by the throat, and started to strangle me.
Ms. Blankenship, you left something out, madam, that you put in your complaint. And that was that there was a time that Mr. DeFrancesco just said, I want to get out of here. And that was before you started with the food fight.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to go to the door to leave and get his clothes and leave. And you say in your complaint that you prevented him from leaving.
I, for whatever stupid reasons, didn't want him to take his clothes at the time. I felt that he owed me money for being there, and I figured that we'd straighten it out at some other time.
So you blocked the door?
I blocked the door.
And it was after you blocked the door that he lunged at you?
Shortly after that.
Now, you called the police and had him arrested.
When I could get to a phone, I called the police. He ripped the phones out of the wall.
Now, when did you finally get to the police?
After I got his hands off my throat.
Okay. So he took his hands off your throat, you called the police, and I assume you let him leave at that point.
I didn't let him leave. He went running out the door. This is after he pulled the alarm system out of the wall. I tried calling 911 from 2 telephones. He kept pulling the phones out of my hand, pressing the off button.
At that point, I assume, Ms. Blankenship, that you were ready to let him leave.
Yeah.
Now, what hospital did you go to?
I didn't.
So if you didn't go to a hospital, I assume you weren't injured.
I was injured, but there wasn't anything that I felt that they could do to me that was going to make the marks go away.
How were you injured?
By him strangling me. I had marks on my arm, on my face.
Did you take any photographs of it?
I have the police report and pictures.
I'd like to see.
Plus, I didn't go right to the hospital, or I didn't go to the hospital because the police wanted me to go to the police station. I was down there for about 3 or 4 hours.
I noticed that in your statement to the police, you didn't tell the police that Mr. DeFrancesco wanted to leave, or that the mess that they observed in the kitchen of the Chinese food all over the place was the result of you throwing it all over the place. How come you didn't tell them that?
Well, I don't recall whether I did or didn't.
You didn't. Trust me, you didn't.
Well, regardless of that, he has no right to try to strangle me.
You had no right to try to keep him in the house.
Well, I didn't physically block his entrance from
That's
leaving.
what you
the
said.
door
That's
was
exactly.
right there.
That's exactly what you said.
I stopped him from getting his clothing, not from walking
No,
out
that's
the door.
not what you said, madam. You said, when I returned, I was still so angry that I started to throw food at him. He was going to get his stuff and leave, but I was too angry to let him leave with his clothes. I blocked the door.
I blocked the door from him getting his clothes in the bedroom.
So why didn't you let him get his clothes? You were both too drunk.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Cindy Blankenship says ex-boyfriend Robert DeFrancesco owes for strangling her. Robert says Cindy threw Chinese food at him.
Madam, he'd been drinking, according to you, for days. Drinking and doing drugs for days. All right, I'm prepared to hear you, Mr. DeFrancesco.
Your Honor, I first met Cindy. She's right. I did.
I
get out
heard
of jail.
that how you met her. You met her at a bar. You went home with her and you stayed too long.
No, I went home with her, and that night I left. She at 5 in the morning. Some other gentleman called, and I had to leave. And she brought me to my brother's house. And then the next day I went to see her. We did some gardening work, whatever. And
Could you look at me instead of looking over there?
oh, I'm sorry. Off and on, we stayed together for about 3 weeks. I'd see her for a few days. It would be okay. Then she'd start yelling at me for stupid little things, and it would get all crazy. And I'd say, I'm going to leave. So one time she called the police, and I'd already left. But
he was trying to run my household.
Could you look at me when you're speaking, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. When the cops came, they just came because she just wanted me to leave, and I'd already left. So I told her, I said, I'm on probation and stuff like that. I can't have any problems with the police, so I don't think this is going to work out. So to make a long story short, we'd gone back and forth.
You're still looking over there.
Back and forth, and then another time the police came to get me. The same thing. I just left. I had my bag of clothes. It was raining out. I left.
You shouldn't be drinking with her, sir. I mean, but the problem is you're two drunks living together.
Well, Your Honor, the day in question of the day that I got arrested, I was working all day. I was working all day. She was at the bar. She was supposed to be going to get her motorcycle license or whatever, but it got done early. She came home. So then I got upset with her. I'd already told her a few times, if this continues, we're not going to stay together. I can't handle this. You're too abusive.
She assaulted me.
Your Honor, she assaulted me on other occasions. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. I don't hit women. She was hitting me.
Mr. DeFrancesco, how come you spent 5 months in jail? Were you on probation or parole?
I was on probation, but I was charged with assault with intent to murder, and intimidating a witness.
Okay.
That's what I was charged with.
Okay. And those charges were ultimately tossed.
They were dropped because she pled the fifth, because she didn't want to perjure herself.
Well, for whatever reason, they should have been dropped a long time ago. What had you just been released from jail for?
Assault and battery, malicious damage. I got into a big fight at a bar. I did like 2 years.
Mr. DeFrancesco, may I suggest to you, sir, that you are not a good drunk? Do you understand? You're not a good drunk. And if you're going to continue to drink, I wouldn't take up with somebody who is also a bad drunk. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
That's what I
How old
tried to
are
do.
you, sir?
I'm 42 years old.
You look every day of it, Mr. DeFrancesco. You're getting old before your time, sir.
Well, Your Honor, I did try to leave. That's why, that's why I feel it's bogus.
Miss Blankenship, you don't have a case. He didn't try to murder you. You were two
If he
drunks
didn't
having...
try to murder me, Your Honor, why did they charge him with attempted murder from the marks all over me?
Listen to
why
me.
did I call 911?
I'm telling you why you called 911, because he finally got fed up with you, and he probably did try to choke you. That's why. That's not attempted murder, just like you throwing Chinese food at him is not assault. You want to drink and do drugs with somebody who also drinks and does drugs? That's what happens. What are you bothering me for? Goodbye.
What is our excuse? You may step out.
I tried to get out of the relationship, and it just ended up being violent.
It's obviously started a different way from him dropping his drawers to the floor and so on, making any type of sexual advances that he wanted to happen. So, I mean, it's insane.
Those are personal issues. That's stuff that normal people do, It's just that it just got carried away.
Him and I being together, drinking, not knowing what kind of relationship we were going to get into. So I wish it had never started from the beginning.
Of course, if you drink and drug, it's going to cause problems, But what she stated, That just shows that's one of her traits, you know what I mean? She just talks crazy.
20-year-old machinist Kyle Franklin and his girlfriend, 20-year-old homemaker Tiffany Drury, are suing their former roommate, 20-year-old loan officer Annalisa Diaz, for unpaid rent, the cost to break the lease, and a phone bill.
All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Yeah, this is case number 36 on the calendar in the matter of Franklin Drury versus Diaz. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. May be seated, gentlemen. Have seats.
I assume that this wasn't serendipity that you chose the same ties. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sweet touch. Okay. According to your complaint, you and this young lady used to be friends. You decided that you would take an apartment together. Took the apartment together, and according to your complaint, she owes you money because she moved out of the apartment prior to the termination of the lease, causing you expense. She did not pay for the last month that she should have paid. She did not pay to have the lease broken, and there was also an extant phone bill that you believe she's responsible for. Ms. Diaz says, A, she paid the phone bill.
Right.
B, she wasn't even on the lease. And she was being a good guy because she even paid you 1 extra month when she wasn't living there. So, when did you move in together and why?
Well, actually, we moved in July 2003. And we both agreed that we was going to move into a 3-bedroom apartment.
Okay. Where were you living before July of 2003?
At her parents' house.
Have you been together for a long time?
Yes, ma'am.
How long?
About 1.5 years.
Oh, an eternity. How old are you?
19.
And you?
20.
Are you living together now?
Yes, we have a child together.
But you're not married?
No.
Any particular reason for that?
No.
Well, people together for 1.5 years don't necessarily have to get married, but when you have a child together, usually that suggests that you've made a commitment. I mean, this is always a curious thing for me to discuss. I know Byrd is particularly interested in this because he has young daughters. So he would like to know the answer to this question. Why no marriage?
We want to have a big wedding and we don't have the money for it. So we're saving up for it. I mean...
well, that's great, but you don't have a baby beforehand. Baby, you don't make a flower child, you know, a flower girl, a flower boy.
But basically, being married is just a written paper. Our commitment to each other is, just as good as marriage.
Do you work?
No, I stay home with my daughter.
Do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a machinist.
How much money do you earn?
$10.91 an hour.
How old is your baby?
4 months.
You receive any sort of state aid? No. Look at me. Any sort of state aid?
WIC.
So you receive some sort of state aid for the baby?
Ma'am.
Does the government know you live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
We just moved into our new apartment.
So before that, they didn't know you were living together?
Right.
See, you always have to follow the money. Mm-hmm. Following the money is real important. So it's a little bit of commitment and a little bit of WIC. So you decided to move into an apartment together, the three of you. When was that? July?
July 2003.
And who signed the lease?
Me and her did.
Her child.
And actually her child was on the lease with us.
Her child?
Yeah, her child. She told us that she didn't want to she told us that she couldn't be on the lease because her credit was bad. Some people had messed up her credit when she had
whatever it was, she was not on the lease.
Mm-hmm.
And how old is her child?
2.5.
A child can't sign the lease.
No, he didn't sign it. She gave us permission to put him on the lease so we could get a 3-bedroom.
It doesn't make any difference. She didn't sign the lease. So the two of you signed the lease and she did not. Mm-hmm. Moved into an apartment in July. The lease was for how long?
13 months.
When did you move out?
I moved out in January, but I didn't get my stuff out until March.
March? When in March?
The second week of March.
Oh, so did you pay rent through March?
No.
Why not?
I paid February's rent because I left on the last week of January, so I knew I needed to pay February. I went to get my belongings before February was up, and I was unable to get everything because I only had someone's truck for a certain amount of time.
Is this the boyfriend?
Yes.
He should have gone with you to get the stuff out.
He was with me.
Good, so you should have gotten it all out in February. You left your stuff there, you're responsible for your share of March's rent, which was how much?
$393.
That you got. Now you want her also to pay for what it cost you to break your lease. Why?
Well, we agreed back in January. We started talking about if we decided to move out and get different apartments, that we would both use our tax money and split the difference, which was $785.
I don't see her responsible for breaking your lease, for what it cost you to break your lease. She's not on the lease.
But she agreed. She told us that she would.
We had a verbal agreement.
Yeah, she agreed that she'd pay half.
Our verbal agreement also considered him living there and helping me pay my half. But then they decided they didn't want him there, and that's when the whole discussion of us moving out even came up.
Why didn't they want him there?
There was issues between, I mean, it was too crowded for one. When their baby came, it was agreed upon when we first moved in that their daughter and my son, since they were still so little, were going to be able to share a room. And when their baby came, they were given so much gifts that it ended up that my son, myself, and him were all in one bedroom. And it just started from there. We didn't have room.
Okay,
privacy.
so it wasn't a good situation.
Right.
I got it. Okay. Well, whatever other reason, it wasn't a good situation. $393 in rent. That's what they owe you so far. What about the phone bill?
Well, ma'am, the phone bill's in my name, and Adam, her boyfriend, went to Oklahoma in January, and she asked if, she could call him and accept his collect calls, and I said that it was okay as long as she paid the phone bill. Her total on the phone bill charges was $362.65. I called Mrs. Diaz on the 17th of March to remind her that the phone bill was due on the 19th. She said that she would bring the money to me on the 19th, and on the 19th she never brought me the money. So the phone bill was then late. Coincidentally, she got a note on her car saying Tiffany's taking you to court. So she calls me telling me that she sent the money to Verizon herself. Didn't have the account number or nothing. Just sent it to Verizon without letting me know, and I called Verizon all week and they never received a payment.
So you didn't get paid?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
They were given the money on the 19th.
By whom?
By myself, and he was with me.
Oh, let me hear. Tell me about it.
We went, when I got off of work that Friday, on the 19th, I got off of work. I went and got a payday loan for a majority of the money.
Show me proof of that.
Well, I have the check I wrote to the payday place, which was half of it, and the other 100 I borrowed from him. But they were given cash. I don't have proof because I didn't think I needed to get a receipt
any cash,
from a friend.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Kyle Franklin and his girlfriend, Tiffany Drury, claim former roommate Annalisa Diaz owes for breaking an apartment lease, unpaid rent, and a phone bill.
Go ahead.
At one point, I was going to mail it directly to the phone company, and I wanted the account number it would be applied to. She did not want to give that to me, so...
No, she said she was going to send a check to the phone company, but she never had the account number, so we didn't understand why she would send a check with no account number. And she actually said that that they charged the money that she sent for our account, they charged to her other account, which some other roommates of hers...
She had a bad account, and they put the money towards that instead of my account.
Well, that's an interesting story to make up.
That was the story that I said I wasn't going to do because I figured that was what was going to happen.
So you remember having listen to me. Therefore, what you're telling me, Ms. Diaz, is the statements that the plaintiff made about you saying, I'm going to send the money directly, did happen, but just didn't happen the way they just told me it happened.
Right.
Now, you owe Verizon an old bill. Is that right?
Yes.
How old?
2 years.
So you scammed Verizon out of $100, $50, $200 by using their services and not paying for it.
No, it was another roommate situation where my bill was ran up and I'm not going to pay it.
So she's doing the same
so
thing
she
to
turned
us.
around and said it to us.
Ms. Diaz, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you gave him any cash. You can sit down because I don't want you to have to trip over your tie and lying for her. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
We understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a very good thing, because otherwise I have to eat you for breakfast, and I've already had breakfast, so I'm kind of full right now. You owe him for a month's rent and for your phone bill. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $755.65. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It just wasn't a good situation. We should have never got into it in the first place.
We were pretty close with them, but now we don't really talk anymore.
They just told me they didn't want me there no more. I mean, basically, that was it.
I'm just, glad it's done and everything. We just learned a lesson not to have roommates.
Modeler James Newsom is suing his friend's ex-landlord, property owner Lai Chen, for maliciously allowing his dog to run away. Lai is countersuing, claiming James damaged her property and stole her gun.
Yeah, this is case number 331 on the calendar, the matter of Newsom versus Chan. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mr. Newsom, it is your claim that owing to the defendant's negligence, your dog ran away. I assume this is the dog. As a result of that, you found the dog in pound. You had vet bills, pound costs, etc. Ms. Chan says that you were a squatter on her property. You were not a tenant there, that the dog was left in her backyard. She opened the gate to leave. Your dog ran out. She had absolutely no obligation to go chasing after your dog. And in addition, she says that while you were a squatter there, you hit her house with your truck. You caused damage to her home. She wants you to pay for that. Ms. Newsom, do you own this house?
I own the house.
How many apartments do you have in the house?
3 houses over there, triplex.
3 houses?
Right, triplex.
And Mr. Newsom, he is not a tenant of yours, is
no,
that right?
Not at all.
Is that
not
right, sir?
Yeah, I didn't live there.
Did you park your truck there at her house?
I visited my friend Mario on the weekends because I lived in L.A. at the time, and then I was working in Yorba Linda, so I stayed in Yorba Linda during the week, and I come in town on the weekends and stay with him on the weekends.
So you were staying there with your truck?
Yes, on weekends.
For how long?
I don't know, a month and a half or something, I forget now. He was, until Mario moved out. I don't remember, I wasn't paying attention.
Well, let's try to pay attention
Yeah.
and get specific. What month did you start to come in to visit Mario?
It would have been November 2003 through December of 2003.
And when did your dog disappear?
I guess, from what I understand, it was 4 days before I came to pick him up, which would have been on the 15th of October, I guess. I realized he had disappeared on the 19th when I came to pick him up.
You said you stayed there from November of 2003 till December of 2003.
That's right.
Your dog disappeared in October. That doesn't make sense.
That's right, because I wasn't staying there when my dog was being watched there. I went to Oregon to visit a friend and his mother who was dying. When I came back is when I, at that point, started staying there. And he was watching my dog for me while I was gone in Oregon.
How long did you leave your dog there?
I don't know, I think 10 days it was.
What's your name, Mario?
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Mr. Carmona, where was Mr. Newsom staying when he stayed in your house?
He would either stay upstairs, sleep on the floor upstairs, or because I had my aunt, my brother, and his girlfriend at the time, he didn't want to be a further inconvenience. So he said just lend him a couple blankets and he'd go ahead and just sleep in his bed of his truck for the night. I'd tell him to go upstairs and sleep in the...
And in what month did he come to stay with you?
He didn't live, like you said, he would come over and visit on the weekends, but that started around November, about November.
All right. Now, when he left in October, he says he left his dog with you. Did he leave his dog with you?
Yes, he asked me if I could keep an eye on his dog while he went to go take care of some business that he had to take care of up in Oregon, I believe it was.
So, did you take care of his dog?
Yes, he left all the food that he needed. He left it upstairs with me.
How did the dog get away?
That is a good question. There was an incident where the dog was running around loose prior to Mr. Newsom leaving to Oregon. I had to call him because I couldn't put the dog back on his leash, on his runner.
Why not?
He wouldn't listen to me. I called Mr. Newsom. He had to drive back an hour. He put him back on the leash, and I informed everybody in my house, don't let him off the runner. He had plenty of rope, plenty of chains so he could run around.
So you left him in the backyard?
He had a big backyard to run around.
You left him in the backyard?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he come into the house in the evening?
No.
So you left him in the backyard all the time?
Yes.
Was this backyard solely for you and the 2 other people on the lease, or was it for a lot of other people?
It was a shared backyard.
Well, what gives you the right to put the dog in the backyard?
None, but I did ask Ms. Chan that I was going to be keeping an eye on the dog. There was a doghouse in the back because there was already a dog
When
back
did
there.
you ask Ms. Chan if you could
Before
keep the dog?
Mr. Newsom left for Oregon,
Did he,
I asked her.
Ms. Chan?
No.
Of course not.
Yes, I did.
No, I don't believe you.
Okay.
Don't believe you, sir.
No.
If you had a dog that you couldn't control and there are other tenants using that backyard, it is unlikely that a landlord whose insurance is responsible would say, sure, keep a dog that's uncontrollable in the backyard so my other tenants are going to have trouble. Unlikely.
Ma'am.
All right. Do you know how the dog got away?
No, ma'am. All I know is when I left to work that morning, the dog was on the leash. When I came home, it wasn't on the leash. I spoke to Ms. Chan, asked what happened.
And what did she say?
She said she had opened up the gate to give both dogs, because the other tenants that lived on the property had a pit bull that, if Ms. Chan may remember correctly, the first day that I went over there to look at the apartment
Just,
before I moved in,
just do me a favor. Just tell me what happened with your dog.
I asked what happened to the dog.
And she said?
She said that she let the dogs out to play, and she opened up the gate so they could run around, and they never came back.
What happened, Miss Chan?
No, because I went out. I parked in my car in the backyard. When I go out, I go to get my car, and I gotta go. So I opened my gate, I went, and the dog went too. They both went together. One is female, one's male.
So they were not on a leash?
No.
They were not on the
all.
lead?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
And you didn't go after them?
No.
Right. I wouldn't go after them.
It's not my dog. Why should I go after them?
Absolutely right. What else do you want to tell me?
I would like to tell you that Mrs. Chan was totally comfortable with my dog being there. And once I come back from Oregon and found my dog, took him to the vet, took care of all that, and I still continued to come on weekends and visit. She had no problem with me helping her property. Her property was in pretty bad state of...
what does that have to do with your dog?
It's got to do with the fact that she was comfortable with me being there when I was helping her out on her property. She was, before her denying that my dog was allowed to be there, she had no problem with my dog being there.
Just a second. You're not following, sir. She has no duty to run after your dog.
But she has the duty, if she says it's okay for my dog to be in that yard, to allow it to be there while it's there.
Listen to me, sir. She has no duty to run after your dog.
You're right. Unless she let him off his leash.
She says she didn't.
Of course she did. She's not going to admit to it now that I've got a $500 bill in front of her. Yeah, I guess not. She was pretty sure I wasn't going to sue her either. But the problem we have here is...
Listen, Flick, take care of your own dogs. If you have to go to Oregon, take your dog with you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Ex-landlord Lai Chan allowed his dog to run away. Lai says James is homeless and he was squatting on her property.
Listen to me. I want to know if when you were going into her house, you banged into her house.
I never went in her
truck.
house, and I did not hit her house.
Okay. When do you say he hit your house with his truck?
During the time he stayed in my backyard, and at night, because it's dark, he said he can't see it. He hit it, and the next morning I asked him to...
What date?
I don't have the date.
Well, why did you wait so long?
Because he's homeless.
Because
I don't know where he is.
No, it's because she countered her suit after she received mine. Of course.
Probably true.
I went over there the other day after I found out she was suing me and took pictures of the only place you could possibly hit her house. And the house doesn't show that, I mean, the house is just in bad shape altogether, but I don't know how you could say if I hit it or I didn't hit it. I mean, it's just in bad shape. Although I did re-roof one of her houses that I have another suit against her for because she refused to pay for that. And I have pictures of the fact that the house she lives in has got a roof blowing off and a house next to it that's hers I did the roof on, and I have not been paid for that.
What?
This is an estimate.
Madam, I can't tell what happened with this house. The house, it looks like it's in deplorable condition.
The whole property is.
That's why he
listen
hit.
to me. I'm speaking. I don't need you to help me.
You're right.
The house is in deplorable condition. I can't tell what he hit and what he didn't. He just said he didn't hit your house. You're not responsible for his dog. He's not responsible for your house.
Oh,
Mr.
you know what?
Mario
Check
moved
this
out?
Yeah, it's
Mario
gone.
moved out?
Gone.
Good. Goodbye. Have a happy life.
And I knew you'd do that. That's all right, though.
Good.
That's all right.
No excuse. Step out, please.
You're exactly what I thought you'd be. Come on, Hood. Let's go. That's why I should never come to this court. I knew she'd do that. All I know is he wasn't there when I came back from Oregon, and nobody told me nothing.
He lied in the court. He's been staying there for at least 4 or 5 months.
I came in, I asked Mario. He just pointed and said, go talk to Miss Chan. He didn't want to tell me a word.
I tell him, that's your responsibility. Don't put me on.
I went and talked to her. She goes, I don't know nothing. I know nothing.
I don't want to help nobody no more. Once enough. And they put me on the court? No.
20-year-old therapist Tracy Lynn Ford is suing her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old newspaper distributor John Normandin, for an unpaid loan to pay off his truck. John says he has no obligation to pay her back.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 103 on the calendar, no matter Ford versus Normandin.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Ford, how long did you and the defendant live together?
Probably about 1.5 to 2 years.
And it is your claim that sometime within that period of time, you accepted a loan from your mother. He accepted a loan from your mother. The check was given physically to you, But the loan was for the purpose of him paying off his truck. And it was clearly understood between the three of you, the defendant, and your mother, that it was his responsibility to pay her back.
Yes.
You broke up. Mr. Normandin said, not my loan, it's her loan. It's her arrangement with her mother. I never made the arrangement to pay her back. Is that right, sir?
That's correct.
So you bought a truck when, sir?
About a year before actually about 6 months before we got together, I bought the truck and was making payments on it with all my own funds. Was trying to save up to pay it off because of the high...
Slowly, I'm old.
Because of the high interest rate and the high insurance costs for full coverage on the vehicle, I need to get it paid off as quick as possible. So I was working 3 jobs, saving as much money as possible. I saved up about $11,000 of my own money to pay it off within a 4-month period of time, and I only needed another $1,000 or so to finish it off. And at that time, she agreed she would help me out with that.
Tell me the conversation when she agreed to help you out with that. Tell me, I want to hear the conversation.
I told Tracy that if I paid off the truck sooner, there'd be more money available for us to get other things for us both to use. And she said, after I told her that she would help me out by asking her parents to see if she could borrow some money to help me pay it off. There was never agreement for me to pay it back. It was all her own. I mean, we helped each other out. I mean, I got things for her, she got things for me. I figured this is her helping me out. That's as far as I took it. I didn't know it was a loan on my behalf.
Were you covering your own bills in addition to the truck stuff?
Yes, I was.
Was she working?
A little bit here and there. She had a full-time job, but she wasn't making that much money.
You said if I could get this paid off faster, I'd have more money for us and our bills. So she agreed to get a loan from her mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got the money?
With the agreement that if he didn't pay it back, that I was held responsible. But I didn't benefit from it.
When you made that agreement with your stepmother, was he present?
Yes.
Where were you all?
We were in our house, and he made me call my stepmother. I called her, asked for the money. Then she asked to speak to John. She spoke to John. The agreement was made between them that she would send $1,000 and that he would pay her back either right away or in increments with the money that he was saving from not having insurance.
Okay, now when was that check written?
March of 2003.
How much after that did the two of you break up?
We broke up about 3 months.
It was in November, Your Honor.
We broke up...
November of 2003?
Yes, that's correct.
Who was this
No,
person?
I didn't.
Who was this person?
This is my husband.
Okay. When were you married?
We got married January 15th.
When did you break up with Mr. Normandin?
I'm sorry, it was 2002. My mistake.
We broke up in June of the last June that we just had.
June of 2003?
Yes.
And the truck loan was March of 2003?
Yes.
So 3 months later?
Yes.
Okay. And when you left, you took the truck, sir?
Yes, I did.
Had things started to deteriorate between you and the plaintiff at that point?
They'd been deteriorating for a while before that, and the check her mother sent her was way before that. It was in 2002 she received that check, because I tried...
Can I see the check, please?
Sure. That's the check.
Date of the check is March 11th, 2003, sir.
Then I must be mixing something up, because
Well, then you mixed up.
I moved out a year and a few months after we broke up. We had a lease together. It ended November of 2002. I lived with my father for a year and a few months. I have receipts for every month since then from him, and a signed lease agreement from him.
I'm not interested in a lease from your father.
But she's saying that we lived
I'm not
together.
interested in a lease from your father. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see the paperwork when you paid off the truck.
I don't have that.
Why not? I'd be interested in seeing that, not a lease from your father.
It's been at least a year since I paid off that truck.
Listen to me carefully, sir. I'm not interested in a lease from your father. I would be interested to see when you paid the truck off.
I didn't believe I needed that.
Well, you were coming here about a truck, were you not?
I thought I was coming here about money that
No,
was borrowed.
you were coming here about the truck, correct?
It's not what I understood.
Why would you bring a lease instead of the payoff payments for the truck?
Because the
There's
payoff
no
had nothing
logical reason for that, sir.
The payoff had nothing to do with that loan.
There is no logical reason why you would bring a lease. This isn't about rent
I understand that.
That's not logical that you would bring totally irrelevant paperwork instead of bringing paperwork that could be marginally related to this case. It just doesn't make sense. Now, what I want to see is the check that you indicate he gave your mother for $500. That I would like to see, and then stop payment on it.
I would love to give it to you, but he sent the check, and then he either went to Texas or California. I think it was Texas to visit his brother. Called me, told me to call my stepmother, tell her not to cash the check. So he didn't put a stop payment on it. He just told me to tell her not to cash it. She did not cash it. She can't find it, unfortunately, because
don't tell me why she can't find it, because she's not here to tell me that.
Actually, she's in the back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Could you bring her in, please?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Lynn Ford says ex-boyfriend John Normandin owes for a loan to pay off his truck.
When did you send a check for $500?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah, it was in May.
May of what year?
2002, I believe.
Let me see the check register.
Why would you pay for
The whole
Shh.
Let me see the whole check register. What was the name of the company that you had a loan for the check?
I don't recall.
Think hard.
I can't remember. I've had a lot of loans since then.
I'm just talking about your truck loan. So you still have the truck?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you still have the truck and you wrote out a check for $11,000, one would think that you would remember.
It was over a year and a half ago. I've done a lot since then.
Mm-hmm. You sent her this $500, sir, after you had made all the payments that I see here for the truck.
The payoff wasn't a written check from me. It was
No,
a
I
cashier's
understand.
check from the
I
bank.
understand that. What I'm saying is you made payments for the truck, $500 payments for the truck to Chevrolet.
That was when I first bought it.
Listen carefully to me. After your last payment for the truck that is registered here, you sent her a check for $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you're telling me is that was not in return of a loan.
It was a joint bank account between me and Tracy Lynn. When the bills were due, I wrote most of the checks.
Yes. Shh. Sorry. Just a minute.
So the money was both of ours together. Every penny I made, she had access to. Everything she made, I had access to.
I am correct that after you paid off the truck, which included her $1,000, you wrote out a check to her for $500.
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened with that check?
Tracy called and said that John did not have money in the account to cover it, and if I could hold it for a short period of time.
So what did you do with the check?
We held it, and recently I looked for it.
Now, you have the truck, and she has the debt.
I assume so.
Why is that reasonable, sir?
Well, I owned every penny I paid on that truck was my money.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. You had a specific discussion, and the specific discussion with this young lady was, I need another $1,000 to pay off the truck so that I can stop working the 3 jobs and just put all the money into the truck, but we can start living more reasonably.
It wasn't an I, it was a we. We needed the money to pay
Well,
off
then
the
how
truck.
about I do this, sir? How about you take out your wallet, give me the registration for the truck, and I will have you sign the truck, half of it, over to the plaintiff. How about that? Would you like to do that? Take out your wallet and give me the registration. Take out your wallet and give me the registration. Then we do a we. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't be a smarty with me. You're going to lose. We happens when 2 people are married. When 2 people aren't married, you don't have we. You have yours and you have hers. You got the truck, she's got the debt. There is something wrong with that. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's been hard because he refused to pay the money back when he knew he needed to.
We had an equal sharing relationship, and I guess it wasn't as equal as I thought it was.
It's put a lot of stress on me because I don't want to owe my stepmother money, and it was my thing to pay when he wouldn't pay it.
She needs money badly because she's pregnant and has no money.
I have plenty of money. We've got a nice house. I don't need his money.
Appraiser Paul Tumber is suing his ex-wife, Stephanie Sotenko, and her new husband, Ed Sotenko, for a loan to pay her mortgage and for his share of a vehicle.
Now, this is case number 420 on the calendar in the matter of Tumber versus Sotenko. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Tumber, this is your former wife and her present husband, and the two of you have been divorced for some time. You have a 17-year-old son. I assume that that is this young man over here.
That's
is that
correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
According to the complaint that I've read, recently, after your divorce and after your former wife was remarried, she ran into some financial difficulty and called you and asked you for a loan. You obliged, according to you, advanced her some money, I think $750.
That's correct.
You want the money back.
Correct.
And in addition, your former wife and her husband purchased a car for your son.
Correct.
And you invested some money in that car in repairing it.
Correct.
Then you decided to buy your son a newer car. And according to you, there was an understanding that they would reimburse you when they sold the old car for the money that you had invested in it so that you could sort of put it towards the new car that you were buying from them.
Correct.
They sold the car and they didn't give you the money that you had invested in it.
Correct.
So you also want that money.
Correct.
When did your former wife call you for this initial loan?
It was around the beginning of this year, but around January.
What happened? You ran into some
2004.
financial difficulty?
The financial difficulty wasn't about me necessarily. It was regarding my son and expenses that we had with the car, with medical, and with a phone bill.
What do you mean the car? What kind of expenses?
Okay, the car that we purchased for my son was a car that we knew...
I don't care what you knew. You had expenses because you had to have it fixed?
Yes.
And how much did you need to have the car fixed?
There were different parts that we needed to buy. My husband did the repairs.
So you spent some of the money that he gave you to fix the car?
Correct.
How much?
The total that we spent on the repairs, just the parts alone of the receipts I could find,
yes,
was $224.03.
$224 to fix the car?
For the parts.
Fine. I don't care what your husband's labor was. That's not important to me. What else did you need money for?
My son had a cell bill.
Who bought him a cell phone?
I did.
So why was it your former husband's responsibility?
It wasn't, except for my son went over the minutes, and he did this more than one occasion.
Did your former wife tell you, Mrs. Sotenko, tell you that this money she was asking you for was for your son?
No, Your Honor, she
What did
didn't.
she tell you?
It was for mortgages on the home that she was in arrears of.
Were you in arrears on your mortgage?
I was never in arrears on my mortgage.
Did you tell him that you needed money to pay your mortgage?
I told him that I couldn't pay the mortgage and everything else, that my son's cell bill was so much money, my son's medical bills that the insurance didn't cover was so much money.
You pay child support, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How much do you pay?
Just shy of $600 a month, I believe.
Okay. How much money did you
Your
give?
Honor, that's not true.
How much does he give you?
$370 a month.
How do you account for the discrepancy, Mr. Tumber?
I'm not sure how much I pay, to be honest with you, Your Honor.
So why don't you say, I'm not
Spent-
sure? I don't know is something that a man can say.
I don't know.
3 little words.
I don't know.
don't know.
Correct, thank you.
Well, you should know how much child support you pay. Do you pay it pursuant to income deduction order?
Yes.
So it comes right out of your pay?
Right out of my check, yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's not $600, it's $370 a month, according to you. Is that what you receive, or do you receive more if there is some in arrears?
$370 a month, Your Honor.
Period?
Period.
Okay, fine. How much money did you loan to her, sir?
$750.
Well, that's not true, Your Honor.
Show me.
Your Honor, I'd like to
You have a
submit...
check?
Yes.
Let me see it,
Canceled
please.
checks with her signature on them.
Your Honor, he could have written anything in after the fact.
No, I'm just looking at the canceled checks, madam. And I'm even looking for the memo. The memo is irrelevant. You owe him $750. I think it's very nice that you can call him and say, listen, I ran into some financial difficulties and I need some money and your son lives with me, so could you do it for me?
But, Your Honor, that's not how it happened.
Did you sell the car? We're
Yes,
going to
we
get to the
sold the
car
car.
now.
But-
Just a second. We're going to get to the car. You and your husband bought a car, and you bought a car for your son. And according to you, some of the money that you got from him was used to fix the car.
Correct.
Right. Then you sold the car.
Correct.
How much money did you give him? I just answer my question. How
Zero.
much money did you give him? Zero. How much did you sell the car for?
$1,000.
Well, if he paid for the parts to fix the car, why didn't you think it was appropriate that if he was buying your son a new car, for you not to at least reimburse him for what he had spent? Don't you think that that's appropriate? Fair? Reasonable? If I believe you, Mrs. Satango, if I believe you, you were able to call your former husband and say to him, despite the fact that you are under a court order and paid child support, it's not enough. Because I have some bills that I'm having trouble paying for our son. He went over his minutes on a cell phone that I bought him. That's not his fault. You choose to buy him a cell phone, 17-year-old kid, and he's not responsible enough? That's not his father's problem, because you provided him with the vehicle to be irresponsible. But he was, according to you, he was a nice guy and said, here's the money. According to you, he was a nice guy when you say I had to fix the car and I need some parts. According to you, he was a nice guy, gave you the money. According to you, despite the fact that he pays child support and is not in arrears, he had some unreimbursed medical bills, and he said, here's the money. So I'm asking you, if he was a nice guy, how come when you sold the car and he was buying him a new car,
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter Powell versus Methors. Step forward, please.
Child care provider LaWandria Powell is suing her former client, teacher Betty Methors, for unpaid babysitting fees. Betty claims LaWandria coerced her 14-year-old daughter into signing a contract.
Ms. Powell, you are a child care provider, and according to you, the defendant owes you some money for taking care of her child.
Yes.
The defendant says she paid you what was agreed, not a penny more. How long have you been a child care provider?
I received my license on January 5th of this year.
And you take care of children in your home or outside?
In my home.
How many children?
I'm licensed to take care of 8.
What age group?
Newborn to 12.
How many people work for you?
Just myself.
You can take care of 8 children by yourself in your house?
No, I never have 8 all at one time. The majority of the kids that I keep are in school, so they're in and out.
When were you contacted by the defendant?
We met on August 23rd at a Jump Start program where both our 5-year-olds were to start kindergarten. And she made the statement that she needed assistance with child care or her daughter wasn't going to be able to attend school. And I was sitting in front of her. I turned around and told her that I am a licensed provider, and I gave her one of my pens with my information on it.
You have a 5-year-old?
Yes.
Boy or girl?
Girl.
Did there come a time when Miss Methors?
Yes.
Brought her daughter to your facility?
Yes.
When was that?
That same day. We made arrangements for her to come around 11:30 of that day.
When did she start your program?
Not until September the 13th, when the older kids were going back to school.
Did she sign a contract?
Yes, she did.
I'd like to see it, please.
Do you want all of the paperwork or just the contract?
Just the contract. Did you sign this contract?
No, Your Honor. I did not sign any contract with this woman. I only had verbal agreement on the phone.
Who signed this contract?
Her or her daughter. But it was her that was supposed to have signed it because she gave me the paperwork.
Who signed this, you or your mother?
I did, Your Honor.
So you told her she could pay you $50?
Yes.
Fine. And she paid you $50?
She paid me $50.
So why are you here? What do you want?
In my contract, it states that she's to pay me the first and last week.
How many children did you have in your facility on September 13th?
Just her daughter at that time.
The reason you want first and last and 2 weeks' notice is because you say in this contract, and you're not sure who signed this contract, that space is limited, and in order to ensure that you don't turn somebody else away, you have to give notice.
Yes.
But you didn't have anybody else there. You didn't turn anybody away because her daughter was there?
No, I didn't.
So what are you suing her for? Why are you wasting your time?
Because my contract states that she has to pay first and last.
Madam, you have no written contract with her because you don't know who signed this contract. You have, at best, an oral contract.
My understanding was that she signed the contract. She never told me that her daughter didn't sign.
You babysat for 4 days. You got paid for 4 days. There's no reason for you to be here. You should spend your time and devote your time to your business, not for suing people. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy is perfectly right. She is very, very intelligent. This lady needs to get a job. She is so desperate, she can do anything for money. And she is a disgrace, a complete disgrace to whatever she is supposed to be representing. Someone like her, she needs to be exposed.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Barclay versus Korn. Step forward.
Child care provider Mary Barclay is suing her former client, Marie Korn, for unpaid babysitting fees. Marie says Mary's home wasn't a safe environment for her children.
Miss Barclay, you were hired by Miss Korn to babysit for her children. And according to you, you had the following arrangement. She was receiving money from the state for child care, I gather, because of her income. And you were to receive money from the state to take care of the children. In addition, according to you, you claim that you had an agreement that if you babysat additional periods of time, she would pay you over and above what the state paid. It is your claim that you were paid by the state, but were not paid for the overtime that you worked for Miss Korn. That's what your case is about.
Yes.
And Ms. Korn says that you were paid everything that was agreed upon, which was the amount of money that the state paid for babysitting, and she removed the children because of what she perceived to be inadequate care. Ms. Barkley, do you babysit for a living? Do you have daycare facility?
I babysit other children in my home.
And how many children?
Probably 3. I watch my grandsons a lot.
How many grandsons do you have?
2.
And how many children did Ms. Korn have?
2.
So you had 4 children in your house. When did you start to babysit for Ms. Korn's children?
March 19th, I do believe.
And when did you cease babysitting for her?
August 10th, 2004.
How many days a week?
5 days a week.
What time to what time?
Her hours varied.
And did you fill out a timesheet for the state?
Yes, I did.
And were you paid according to that timesheet?
I was paid for the state's part.
What do you mean you were paid for the state's part?
The state only allows a certain amount of hours a month to be paid.
And how many hours is that?
180.
So it's about 8 or 9 hours a day. Is that right?
Or more.
Okay, so let me hear.
Well, I babysit a lot longer than that. She is responsible for anything that the state did not pay.
Show me your agreement with her, Ms. Barkley.
We don't have a written agreement. But I told her that she was responsible for anything that the state did not pay.
And what did she say to you?
She said, okay.
Well, in the month of April of 2004, did you babysit more than the 180 hours?
Yes, I did.
Did she pay you any money?
No.
In the month of May, did you babysit for more than the 180 hours?
Yes.
Did she pay you any money?
No.
In June, did she pay you any money?
No.
Yes.
Well,
yes. I paid a co-payment.
She paid me $25, but not until July 9th.
What was the $25 for?
That was a co-payment.
What is a co-payment?
The state paid a certain amount, and I was responsible for $25.
Just $25? Is that what it says in your state contract?
That's what it said, yes. They sent me a form saying I owed her $25 for my co-payment.
How much did you receive from the state each full month that you babysat for the children?
The most they would pay me is $594.
So $600 a month. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I assume you got the maximum each month.
Yes.
And at the same time, you were home with your 2 grandsons. Is that right? So you were home anyway and making an extra $600. Now, did you have an agreement with Ms. Barkley to pay her money over and above what the state paid?
Yes.
And how much were you supposed to pay her?
I don't know. We asked her several times for a figure, and she never gave me the hours.
So when for the first time did she ask you for additional money?
About June.
And tell me about the conversation.
She said that she was having problems having her house payment, making her house payment, and she needed the extra money then, and asked me when I could pay it. My husband asked her for the hours that we owed her, and she did not give it to him several times. He asked her.
Did you have an agreement to pay her additional hours prior to June?
Yes.
So you owe her for the additional hours?
Not as much as she says.
Did you have her, Miss Barkley, for the months that you babysat, sign something at the end of each month indicating the number of hours that you worked?
Yes.
Can I see it, please?
I don't have that copy, but I have the receipt from the state that shows all the hours and the amount I billed and how much that...
Well, let me see.
And here's a breakdown of it.
I don't want a breakdown. I want to see what the state sent you. That's very simple. Not what you wrote for this case, but what the state sent you. Oh, well, it's very easy because it says here, parent amount. Okay. Since you acknowledged that you had an arrangement with her that you were going to make payments over and above what the state paid her for the time that she watched the children during the hours that you were supposed to be working, you acknowledged that.
Right.
And the state authorized certain payments, and you acknowledged that you were supposed to pay her what the state did not authorize. You owe her $1,315 unless there was a reason why you shouldn't pay it. Is there?
At the time, my kids were not in a safe environment. She was not just watching her grandchildren and my children. There was a 13-year-old there who was hitting and kicking my daughter.
When did you find out about that?
My daughter came home and had a bruise on her stomach.
When?
That was in June.
She continued to babysit, according to this, until August. So one of your children came home with a bruise in her stomach, and you let her stay there?
As long as the 13-year-old wasn't there.
Well, when did you have a discussion with her about the 13-year-old?
She's the one that told me that she had let her do it because my daughter has a problem with her mouth.
No, I don't allow other kids to hit kids in my care, Your Honor. That is definitely forbidden with me.
I've seen it.
Well, listen to me.
Hello.
Listen to me. I can't believe that a normal parent, if she felt as if her children were being abused in your home, would leave your children there.
It happened once, Your Honor.
Well, then you didn't think it was so serious.
At the time, I thought my daughter had lied to me.
Well, then that's not a reason not to pay her the money that you owed her.
But then when my husband asked her to account for the hours, she couldn't.
Well, now we know that the state's accounted for the hours. Say anything?
Yes, I do.
Say it fast.
Would like to say there was 3 or 4 times that the kids were dropped off at our house to the gentleman, our next door neighbor, and he would just open our door and just let the kids loose. I mean, there was nobody there watching our kids at all, and that's towards the end when we finally found a different babysitter.
Why did you let your children go back there?
We didn't after that.
Yeah, we didn't after that.
You said there were 3 or 4 times. The first time somebody would drop off my children who were babies like this and just put them in a house would be the last time they would babysit. Why did you bring the children back there for it to happen another 3 times?
We don't have other options with a babysitter.
His mother...
I wanted to explain something to you. Let's keep our fingers crossed for these children.
Okay.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,315.
Please excuse. You may step out.
The state says we owe the money, then we owe the money. I watched her kids a lot. However, I would not put my kids at her home again.
If she'd had a problem, she would have taken the kids a long time ago.
And I certainly learned a valuable lesson.
She never once said anything to me.
I learned that I don't trust anybody with my children.
I don't know. It's rude. You don't go around doing that to people that watch your children.
Definitely I picked my friends and my daycare providers a lot more carefully.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Osborne versus Lacey. Step forward, please.
Truck driver Charles Osborne is suing his former friend, writer Michael Lacey, for injuries due to a car accident. Charles says he was a backseat passenger when Michael choked on coffee and drove his car off the road.
Mr. Osborne.
Yes, ma'am.
You were a passenger in a car that was being driven by Mr. Lacey, according to your complaint. I don't know where you gentlemen were on your way to, but you're going to tell me you were sitting in the back seat. According to what I read, there was an accident, you were injured, and you want to be compensated for your medical bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Mr. Lacey says this was an accident and you weren't wearing your seatbelt and whatever. Take care of your own medical expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing in Mr. Lacey's car?
Mr. Lacey had been commandeered by my business partner, Frank Owen, to drive us to Rushville, to small claims court.
Who had to be in small claims court?
Mr. Owen did.
And what happened, sir?
We were eastbound on Route 52, and Mr. Lacey had just passed a car doing about 58, 60 miles an hour. And he had taken a drink of coffee at the time, and when he did, he choked on the coffee. He held the accelerator to the floor. We went off to the side of the road. Frank was in the front seat. He tried to grab the wheel to hold it on the road. And I had pulled my seatbelt off quick and tried to jump over the seat to grab the wheel. But at that time, when we went off the road, and the car ended up going over some ravines and went catty-corner into a telephone pole, which hit like the rear door. And I slammed the door, knocked the power window buttons out of the door, broke the window out with my head. And the next time then we finally stopped, dead, and the airbag went off, and Mr. Lacey turned around to me and he said, "I believe we were in an automobile accident."
I believe you were right. Can I see those pictures? I'm anxious to see.
Sure.
So I assume that
It's the same paper. So it's the same paper.
This looks
okay.
Can't believe I'm going to get paid for reading the paper. So this says that both passengers, both you and Mr. Owen, were taken to the hospital. Is that right?
Yes.
What were the extent of your injuries?
I had a collapsed lung, and I still have the problem. I can move my head over this far on the left, and I can come all the way over on the right, but I still can't move it completely right.
Well, what would you have to move it all the way over for? What particular
I
exercise?
probably wouldn't unless I was looking at
I'm just curious.
I don't know, Your Honor.
Wait. Doctor, it hurts when I do this.
No,
Don't
I know.
do that.
No, I'm just curious. What is it in your life, in your work or social life or whatever, that would require you to go all the way over on you?
Well, I'm a truck driver, and I have to leave my head out the window a lot of times to see the cars.
Well, you go out like this. You don't go down like this, right?
Well, I go like this to
Yeah, you go right just like that.
संघतिया हो जाई बवाल तू सुधारी लय गतिया गाँव के गजेड़ी पूरा बड़े हो संघतिया खड़ा होखेला तू धाई के खमरा जाओ गाजा खींचा तारा धाई लेता महाराजा गाजा खींचा तारा धाई लेता महाराजा बतिया के मानला दुर्गे से पियावा हरदम जाइल रहे तोहर से जियावा बतिया के मानला दुर्गे से पियावा हरदम जाइल रहे तोहर से जियावा गाजा खींचा तारा धाई लेता महाराजा गाजा खींचा तारा धाई लेता महाराजा
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Fournier versus Cratterville, step forward, please.
22-year-old mechanic Timothy Fournier is suing his former live-in girlfriend, 18-year-old Laura Cratterville, for rent and for damage to his property. Laura claims she paid her rent in cash.
Mr. Fournier, the defendant was your girlfriend. You lived together for a while. It is your claim she owes you some money for rent and property that you claim she destroyed of yours. The defendant says that she gave you money every week and that whatever property she had of yours she returned after she received a telephone call from the police. When did you and the defendant move in together? And what kind of property?
We moved into an apartment on September 1st.
In whose name was the lease?
Both of ours.
Have a copy of the lease?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? Mr. Fournier, does your hand always shake, or do I make you a little nervous?
A little both.
No, I just make you nervous. Don't be nervous. It's a Tuesday. I don't do anything really bizarre to litigants until Friday.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Timothy Fournier says his ex-girlfriend Laura Cratterville owes for rent and for breaking his PlayStation 2.
All right, so tell me how much money she owes you and from what?
I have her owing half the security deposit and the first and second month's rent that she had never paid me for. And that came up to...
Well, did you get the security deposit back?
No, because of the damages that she had made to the house.
Did you pay any of the rent?
Your Honor, the agreement was I'd give him $100 a week, and from the date we moved in until the date we left, I'd given him $100 every week except the last week I gave him $60.
Is that right?
No.
Well, how much should she give you?
$15, $20 here for the odds and ends.
Well, did you keep a record of what she gave you?
Of what she gave me? No.
Well, how am I supposed to figure that out, Mr. Fournier?
I have no idea. But I
Me neither.
But I did not...
Me neither. When two children want to play house and then it doesn't work out, you come into court and you say, here, this is my problem, you figure it out. Well, that's not the way responsible people behave. Did you keep a record?
No, Your Honor.
When did you separate?
The day we moved out, on November 15th.
Tell me about it.
We had gotten to an argument that spawned from an online, me talking online about certain people, and then it spawned into like this big giant argument where insults were thrown back and forth till finally we had decided to break up.
Okay.
And I was planning on leaving, so I called my mother so I could pick up my brother's truck. When I went down there to get my brother's truck, and my dad had met me to help me move all my stuff out. When I got there, the house had been ransacked and the door was left wide open.
Can I see it, please?
The door was not open. And the house was not destroyed, except from what he had taken with him.
And that's what the apartment looked like when we had got back.
You made a mess, madam.
Remember,
Yes, you did.
The house was a mess before
Oh,
we even
no. You made a mess. You made a mess. Absolutely. What? It looks like all her clothes.
A lot of things would look like they're ransacked and thrown around the house.
That's
Like
the way
just-
the house always looked.
No.
No,
it's
it
always
really
looked like
did.
that.
We
No,
did-
no.
we-
No.
That's the bedroom. We didn't have anything in there but clothes. We didn't have a bed. We didn't have nothing.
Nobody
It was-
lives like this.
We did,
except maybe a
unfortunately.
14-year-old.
We really did.
Well, you should have been neater.
Should have been.
Okay. How did you get out of this lease? I'm curious.
She had signed herself off the lease, so what I had done is I was claiming bankruptcy, so I added that to my bankruptcy.
Why were you claiming bankruptcy?
I put myself into a lot of debt.
How old are you?
22.
How did you put yourself in so much debt that at your age you have to declare a bankruptcy?
I was charged with burning my truck and attempting to fraud. So then when I pled out, I couldn't claim it. So
You're going to have to be more specific with me, sir. You're being very
I
circumspect.
had a very big loan on a truck, and then what happened is it was taken and burnt. And
Your Honor, that's not true. He took it.
You had a truck that was on a lease,
yes,
and you owed a lot of money on it,
yes,
and it broke down.
no, it was crashed and burned.
You were charged with it, and you pled guilty to burning the truck?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. And then you had to make restitution
Yes.
for the truck. And how much did you owe?
I owed 18 on the truck, 18,000.
So you stuck the leasing company with $18,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, I claimed
What do you mean, well,
bankruptcy.
yeah?
I mean, they came after me and I went bankrupt.
You also lumped together the broken lease.
Yeah.
And you expect sympathy from me, is what I'm asking you.
No, I'm not expecting
Ah,
sympathy.
perfect. Good. All right. So what property do you claim she took or destroyed?
She had taken my PlayStation 2 that night.
Good. Now, she says in her answer that she returned it to you.
She did, but it came back broken.
Where did you get the PlayStation 2 from?
Sears.
And you put it on your credit card?
Yes.
You declare bankruptcy on that credit card, too?
Yes.
Get out of here. Is he playing with a full deck?
Yes.
Does he not understand a concept of morality?
Yes, he does.
Well, it's not evident here, sir. He took advantage of Sears by lumping them into his bankruptcy rather than paying off the credit card. And now you're suing her because you want the money. I assume if I give you the money for the PlayStation that you broke, you're going to give it to Sears, right?
No.
Get out of here. Oh, goodbye. Have a happy life. Dad, you got a lot of work to do. He's 22. Maybe still salvageable. Goodbye.
These are excused. You may step out.
The funny thing is that the stuff was already broken. Like the dresser that he was going to try and get money for was broken when we moved in.
A lot of holes and stuff that was put in the walls was caused by her.
Obviously too young to move out and try to do something that serious stuff.
It was worth a shot, I guess. That was about it.
Tim's just bitter because I left him for Jamie.
I had no idea she left me for anybody else until now.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Rutherford versus Sausalito. Step forward.
21-year-old student Ann Rutherford is suing her ex-roommate, computer tech Gina Salsameda, for the return of her security deposit. Gina says Ann left the place a mess.
Miss Rutherford, according to what I read in your complaint, you rented a room from the defendant sometime in August. And the idea was that you were going to stay for about 6 months. And because of problems that you encountered, according to you, you felt rendered the tenancy no longer viable. You gave the defendant notice in October that you planned to vacate in November. This case is about the lack of security deposit that was returned to you because she kept most of your security deposit of $400. I think she gave you back $100. And you want the rest of your security deposit back.
Yeah.
And now, since we've outlined the case, it's up to you to demonstrate to me why you're entitled to her $400 security deposit.
Well, the balance of $300 is for some of the damages.
I'd like you to tell me what the damages were. She was there a relatively short period of time, and unless she's a pig, she couldn't have used up all of her security deposit or most of it.
She was a pig, but one was of a painter to come out. She dyed her hair. She got the dye on my bathroom tile, used my white towel all over that. The bathroom door, there was dye on it, and also burgundy dye in the hallway. She had no regard for my home. I have a very nice house.
Well, then
I gave her an opportunity to clean it as well.
Then let me see. You have photographs of that?
I'm sorry, I don't have photographs. I have a painter coming out and fixing it, basically painting it.
Let me see what you have.
There was other damage she caused that I didn't even charge her for, from some of my furniture.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, so this cost $150.
And that's a minimum fee, basically, to have a painter come out.
And that was because of dye that was from her hair?
Right.
Did you dye your hair when you were there?
Yes, I dyed my hair in the bathroom, and there was a spot on the door.
Oh, well, had it be painted. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. She did not clean. She just basically left the room as is. So I had a cleaning lady come out, and $50 for that. It's a minimum fee for them to come out and clean the room.
I'd like you to show me a picture of the condition she left the room.
I would like to see that as well.
Like I said, it was just she didn't sweep or mop.
Well, then, that's unfortunate. You don't get paid for that.
Okay.
Okay, so far, $150 for painting.
Can I say something about that, Your Honor?
Yeah, sure.
There was a spot of hair dye on the door, and when I left, I said, Gina, I expect to get my full deposit back. I said, I realize there's a spot on the door. I said, if you want to go buy a can of paint for like $15, I'll give you part of my deposit for that.
Let me ask you this question, Miss Rutherford. In what month did you dye your hair?
It was in October, I believe, and then I was gone pretty much the rest of the time.
Just pay attention to my question.
Okay.
If you dyed your hair in October and you got dye on the door, why didn't you go get a can of paint and paint it? Why didn't you clean it up before you went anyplace else?
I cleaned up everything that was on the tile. The hallway charge is absolutely bogus.
Listen to me, my dear.
You did not clean the tile.
Listen to me, my dear.
Sorry.
Liar.
If you dyed your hair and you got dye on the door in October, it shouldn't have still been there in November.
I understand.
Good.
Your Honor, I'm also suing for punitive damages for the fact that I even have to go through all of this. Just the fact that she took this money from me and the fact that, you know, I even need to come and do this is ridiculous.
Well, that's what courts are for. That's what happens. Where are you living now?
I'm living with my friend Christine across.
Is that where you moved immediately after moving out? How long have you been friendly with Christine?
For about 2 years.
Why didn't you move in with her to begin with?
She actually already had a roommate at the time, and I had somebody that I was going to be living with, and it just didn't work out, and so I needed to find somebody immediately. And Gina seemed like she was nice, and then about a month into it, I just found out a bunch of things that I really wasn't comfortable with.
So then you moved back in with your friend whose roommate left?
Yes.
Perfect. Now it sounds like everybody is happy. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $150, that's all.
What was our excuse when they stepped out?
I think it was absolutely ridiculous. She completely lied about the painter's fees.
I think it was fair, and it was a waste of time, basically.
I actually found out about a month into it that she was bisexual, and at first I was okay with that, but then her ex-girlfriend started coming around. She started doing drugs again. She wasn't going to work, and I just couldn't deal with that.
I didn't do drugs. I don't know what she's talking about there.
She said I was a slob. That's ridiculous.
She's a prissy drama queen, Midwestern homophobic, apparently.
She was the one that never did anything.
She's just spoiled little brat.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Fitzgerald versus Whitney. Step forward, please.
23-year-old homemaker Kimberly Fitzgerald is suing her deceased father's fiancée, Leslie Whitney, for the return of her father's belongings. Kimberly says Leslie is a scammer.
Miss Fitzgerald, Miss Whitney and your father were together at the time that he died, and he died suddenly. He was a young man. He had a heart attack. And you want some property that you say belonged to your father. You're one of 2 children. You say your brother doesn't want anything of your father's. You do. He died without a will. And according to you, Miss Whitney won't let you have his belongings. Right?
Yep.
When did your father have a heart attack? Do you know the date?
September 9th, 2004.
And prior to September 9th, when had you seen him?
I saw him about 3 days earlier.
Where?
He stopped by my house to see my son. Well, and me.
Prior to September the 6th, when your father came to see your son, when had you previously seen him?
The 4th of July.
How old was your father?
57.
Miss Whitney, how long had you and Vincent been together?
Over a year we were together, but we did not live together until June of last year.
He had another girlfriend in March.
Shh. You moved into his house?
Yes.
Where was he when he passed away?
He was on the road. He was a truck driver.
According to what I read, Vincent took out a life insurance policy with you as the beneficiary. Is
Yes.
that right? When did he do that?
In August.
Were you planning to get married?
Yes, we were going to be married September 17th, a week after he unfortunately passed away.
People invited to the wedding?
Yes.
Including his daughter?
No.
Why not?
He said that he didn't want, there wasn't a close-knit family, and that's what he had told me. I had never met her, and he offered to, when he wanted to go see his grandchild and stuff, but it was like an in-and-out thing. He never really talked about his children.
How much was the life insurance policy that he took out in August?
$20,000.
But he named you as the beneficiary?
Yes.
Was there any other life insurance policy for any of his children?
No, there was not.
Did he have any bank accounts?
Yes, he did, but one was overdrawn, and the other one only had about $50 in it.
Now, I gather the day after your father died, you and your mother
Yes.
went to his apartment.
Yes. I didn't even know about her.
And how did you get into his apartment?
I was sitting outside. I didn't go into the apartment until Leslie came home.
How did your mother get into the apartment?
I don't know.
How did they get into the apartment?
They climbed through the kitchen window. It was a basement apartment. The windows were level with the ground. And I was on my way back from the hospital, and I came home, and she was outside with the baby, and the mother was in the bedroom.
What was your mother doing there?
She told me to wait outside. We had gone to my father's house to get his suit so that he could be buried. We were making preparations for his wake, and there was other paperwork and stuff that I needed. Since I am the administrator of my father's estate, I needed to get paperwork to straighten
Well, you
things
weren't
out.
the administrator of his estate at that time because he died without a will.
No, at that
so
time I was not.
you had to petition the court for letters of administration.
Yes.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Now, according to Miss Whitney, she ultimately allowed you to come in and take certain property from the apartment.
Yes.
Okay. Now you're going to tell me what it is that you want.
We just want...
Who's we?
Well, okay, I just want the value of the property that was missing that Leslie told me I could have.
What do you want? Not the value. What do you want?
The kitchen table, the computer, the camera with the printer.
Kitchen table?
No, there's no kitchen table.
There's no kitchen table.
I moved
What else?
into the house myself.
What year?
Beginning of end of 2003.
Get over it. What else?
The computer. There was a brand new computer.
Where's the computer?
There was no computer. There was no computer. There's no kitchen table.
Okay. You have no idea where the computer is?
No, I don't.
What's next?
The digital camera.
Digital camera.
No, I don't. He had that. He used to carry that with him in his truck, and I didn't
What's
go
next?
to the truck.
The printer that went with the digital camera.
Miss Fitzgerald, get over it. From what I gather, based upon the fact that your father had taken out a life insurance policy, and instead of naming his two children as beneficiaries, he named this lady as a beneficiary of his insurance policy, you did not enjoy with your father the kind of relationship that was warm, continuous, and loving. Is that a fair statement? Realized that she was living there and that they were living together. They planned to be married. They clearly were in a monogamous, intimate relationship because the life insurance policy was taken out in August. You got a lot of your father's property. Nothing there, as far as I'm concerned, are memento things that you're asking for. You don't want to hang the kitchen table on your charm bracelet or the camcorder or anything else.
No, but there was family pictures.
If you said to me, he had a watch that I would like to be able to give to my child one day because we were very close, or he had a ring that was a family heirloom or something that was very close to him. You want a kitchen table, a computer, a camera, and a printer.
And pictures.
Should have taken pictures. What pictures?
I didn't have access to them.
You went into the house 3 times. You didn't even mention the pictures, Miss Fitzgerald, when you said you wanted the value of these things or the things. You didn't even mention pictures. I think you have to have something to occupy your time more than what you have. Because this is nonsense. Get over it. Get a life. That's all.
Funeral.
Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They were not a close-knit family. I never met his daughter because he wasn't even associating with his daughter.
If all she wanted was his money, she got it.
I was going to marry him. It's not just her lot. She's making it all about her. That's not the case.
She says they were going to get married. I have no proof of that.
She's jealous that I'm getting a life insurance policy and she's not.
She doesn't have the decency to show up at his funeral or his wake or anything.
I was not invited to the funeral, by the way. They kept that hidden secret.
She walks away with $20,000 and I'm left stuck paying for his funeral.
I don't know whether to cry or I mean, it's ridiculous.
For the cost of a plane ticket to Lisbon, Portugal.
This used to be your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend anymore.
That's correct.
You and your family, I assume your family, were going to Portugal to visit relatives. It is your claim that you laid out money for him to go on that family trip with the understanding that he was going to pay you back.
That's correct.
Mr. Spearman says there was never an agreement to pay you back for the trip. You wanted him to accompany you. You wanted him to meet your family. And he didn't have the money, so you agreed to pay for it.
Yes.
Well, tell me about the agreement that you had with him, Mr. Santos.
I had spoken to him about possibly going, and I had wanted him to go. And he had always told me that he wanted to go to Europe, and he had wanted to visit several places in Europe. So I suggested for him to come with me, and he wanted to. So I purchased a plane ticket, and he had always told me that he was going to pay me back.
Why didn't he purchase the plane ticket?
He did not have a credit card, I believe, and he didn't have enough money to purchase it himself.
So he had no money?
Yeah, not at all.
Well, how could he go on a trip if he had no money?
Well, he had just started working in a new job, and he said that he was going to pay me back when he got the money.
Did you agree to pay her back?
Never.
Well, tell me how it happened, Mr. Spearman.
Well, we were dating on and off, and she originally went to see her parents down there. So she had the ticket to go down there. Well, we were broken up. We got back together. That's why she was going down there when I went. Sorry, a little nervous.
Try looking at me.
Sorry.
That'll make you even more nervous.
I know.
Jennifer DeSantis says ex-boyfriend Dwayne Spearman owes for the cost of a trip to Portugal. Dwayne claims that Jennifer insisted he accompany her.
Go ahead.
I had to get the time off work at first, which I didn't think I was going to be able to do. When they said I could have the time off, I told her, all right, I could come, but I don't have the money. I have a bank statement that shows I didn't have any money. I was in the negatives.
She agrees you had no money.
Yes. She told everyone she was going to pay for me. She told my witness. She told my parents. Even on her life journal, I have a paper that says that she would pay for the plane ticket. I was like, why not?
Well, first let me see the paper that says she's going to pay for the plane ticket. Well, it absolutely says, I bought his plane ticket. He's visiting for 7 days. This is so blank. Fabulous. I want to show him so much blank. So much to do, so little time to do it. I have a good feeling about this.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I have a conversation that took place between both of us stating that he would pay me back.
I'd like to see it.
I highlighted some of the main parts, and there's 2 screen names listed. I don't know if you can figure it out.
He says, I said I'll pay you back eventually. I'm doing that for myself. Technically, though, I didn't want to go. You offered, I said yes. I'd win. It's your word against mine. But then you do agree to pay her back, sir, right?
He just kept hounding me. No, that was the first time I had spoken to him since we broke up. And then I spoke to him afterwards, and he had told me that after that conversation took place, and he said he was not going to pay me back. She's only doing this out of spite, though. There's no
There's no
she just
spite.
wanted me to go after we broke up. That's the only time this ever came about.
I tend to believe you.
Your Honor, may I see that for a second?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I step up and say something?
Absolutely.
I was
First,
there.
tell me your name.
I'm Andrew Palua. I was there the day that they told me that they were going to Portugal, and I kept on making jokes, you know, he's in debt, he can't afford it. She blatantly said it was a gift, and he had not had to pay her back on many occasions.
Just a second. Didn't you hear what I just said? I know that you had something that you were dying to get out and dying to say. But is there anything different from what you said than what I just said?
No.
Then you can sit down. Thank you very much. I have other things to do today. Have you looked at that now?
Yes, I actually had a comment about it.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not denying it, but any person, I know 9th graders that could type this up and then bring
No,
it
but
to court.
I don't care. 9th graders, I got news for you. I couldn't
have the
type it up on that machine,
Sorry.
whatever that machine is. And I've had more than a 9th grade education. The question is, did you in fact write it?
Yes.
Fine.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think it should be used in court, though, because anybody could lie.
Well, when
I'm not gonna, it's not,
you
it's not in me
graduate,
to lie. That's
listen
why.
to me. Listen to me. If you had said to me, Mr. Spearman, I didn't write that, then I would say, look, you have to prove that he wrote that. But you did. I believe she wanted you to go. I believe she had a good feeling about your relationship, and she wanted to share the European experience with someone that she cared about. I believe that after you broke up, when you came back, then, Mr. Spearman, you're probably a man of good conscience, and you agreed to pay her, right?
Yes.
Now, how much was the ticket?
$1,101.
Okay. And I tell you right now that the expenses that you had while you were in Portugal were limited. Your parents took you out for most of the meals that you were there, and whatever other money that you spent, you spent. But I believe he has the responsibility to pay you back for his airplane ticket. You agree with that, sir?
No, but I respect it.
I'm glad, because that email, or whatever that is, that conversation that you had, suggests that you are a man of good character. You don't want me to think otherwise, do you?
No.
Great. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,101. That's all.
On your excuse, you may step out.
Save our relationship.
It's untrue. I'm happy in a new relationship, and it has nothing to do with that.
Probably no future, ever.
It's ancient history. I'm moving away, and I can't wait to be gone from all of it.